And the reason that we had to figure out how to evaluate a determinant is because we're going to use it for something called Cramers Rule. Cramers Rule is another method, because we didn't have enough methods to solve systems of equations. I actually had one person when I used to use a textbook, she never used substitution, addition, graphing, always used Cramers Rule. She loved Cramers Rule. On Cramers Rule, what you're going to do is set up the determinant D by using the coefficients of your x's and your y's. So I'm going to have 7, negative 6 in my first column, 7 and 4 in my y column. I'm then going to find the value of that determinant like we found them on the previous problems. So 7 times 4, okay, now I decide not to write on me. There we go, is 28. I'm going to subtract negative 6 times 7, which is negative 42. So I have to take 28 plus 42, which gives me 7. Now, x is equal to what they call d of x divided by d. You notice that they just put d down here on the bottom. I'm just going to put 70 down there on the bottom because I'm going to have a 70 down there and I don't want to forget it. I'm then going to find the d sub x determinant. I find that by replacing the x column with the answers over here, and so the 8 and the 7 go in the x column. The y column stays the same, 7 and 4. I then find the value of that determinant. So 8 times 4 is 32, 7 times 7 is 49, and if I subtract, I get negative 17. So the value of x is going to be negative 17/70ths. For y, we're going to replace the y column with the answers over here. So the 8 and the 7 go in the y column. The x column stays as it originally was, so 7 and negative 6. And then we find the value of that determinant. So 7 times 7 is 49. We're going to subtract negative 6 times 8. 6 times 8 is 48. And so on that one, we end up adding 97. 70ths. So for fun, we're going to check our answer just to see if it works out right. Grab your calculator. We're going to take 7 times negative 17/70ths plus 7 times 97/70ths to see if we actually get an 8 or not. Yes, we do. Okay, good. Then we know our answer's right. We could check it in the second equation if we really wanted to. But it should give you a pretty good idea if you got the right answer or not. So number 14, we're going to use Cramers Rule. And on Alex, they are going to make you fill in all these boxes to be sure that you really are using Cramers Rule to solve the problem. So my first determinant D, my first column is going to be
1 and 1.
You're looking at 15, I think. Are you looking at 14? 5 and 5. And my second column is going to be 3 and negative 2. So we need to find that value of that determinant. We would do
5 times 3 is 2.
so negative 10
Minus 5 times 3.
minus 15. So I get negative 25, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and put my negative 25 down there so I don't forget to put it on my answer, hopefully. So now I need to do my determinant. It's called D sub x. I'm replacing my x column with my n numbers. So my first column is going to be negative 3, 1, and my second column would be
3, negative 2.
the 3, negative 2, because it's the y's of the original problem. So finding the value of that determinant. we would get
3.
3. Because we have 6 minus 3, which is 3. So negative 3/25 should be our value for x. Our y determinant, we're going to have what? 5 and 5, and whoops, yeah, 5 and 5, and then our y column is
Negative 3 and 1.
negative 3 and 1. So finding the value of that determinant,
20.
20, 5 plus 15 is 20, so 20 over negative 25, which of course we're going to simplify, and so we're going to have
4 over negative 5.
or negative 4/5. Since we usually like the negative out in front, right? And again, just to quickly check that on your calculator, take 5 times negative 3/25 plus 3 times negative 4/5. Veda's checking this one. He's leaving it up to you. And we get negative 3, right? And that's what we're supposed to get. Negative 3. So we must have did it right. It's always good to check. And the last one of the whole summer. My D determinant would be what?
3 and 1.
1, 1,
4 and negative 2.
and 4, negative 2. So the value of that determinant would be
Negative 6.
negative 6. Negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. So, put my negative 6 down there so we don't forget, and then I'll do my D sub x determinant. So that one would have
Negative 9, negative 6.
9 and negative 6,
4 and negative 2.
4 and negative 2. So,
Negative 6.
we got negative 6. So we got negative 6 over negative 6. Hey, that gives us 1. And d sub y, our determinant for that one would be, wait a minute here. Let's check your work. Negative 9 times negative 2 is 18, right? Then I have to subtract negative 6 times negative 4, which is a minus 24. If I'm subtracting a negative, I probably better add. Veda didn't yell at me, but 18 plus 24. Must be 42, huh? So 42 over negative 6 would be negative 7. That what you got?
Yeah.
She says sure. All right, let's check y. What's my determinant on y?
3.
I didn't even put the numbers in yet. So 1, 1, negative 9, and negative 6. So I'm going to have negative 6 plus 9, which is 3. 3 over negative 6. Y must be negative 1/2 then, huh? Let's check that one quick. We're going to have x is negative 7 plus 4 times was it negative 1/2? Yep, negative 1/2. Well, that's easy enough to do without my calculator. Yep, negative 7 minus 2 is negative 9. Looks like it checks pretty good. All right. Probably not anything that you've never done before, I'm guessing.